Hi everyone, and thank you for viewing the short tutorial on exponents. I hope that during this tutorial you will receive some highlights on the skills and a better understanding of how to evaluate exponents. Let's get started. In order to understand how to evaluate exponents, we must first understand what exponents are. Exponents show repeated multiplication. They represent how many times a number is multiplied by itself. So basically, when you hear exponents, you are hearing of another way to write multiplication when you are repeating it. Okay, so let's look at the four forms of exponents. The first form we have is exponential form. This is written using the base, which is 5, and the power, which is 3. The base is the number that we multiply. The power tells us how many times to multiply that number. Our second form is word form. Word form is written using words. You actually write what you say. So we would say this exponent by saying 5 to the third power. So when we write it in words, we write exactly what we say, 5 to the third power. Our next form is expanded form, and this form is exactly what it says. We are expanding our exponent. So when you write the base, expanded form is when you write the base, the number of times the power shows. So I said our base was 5, our power was 3. So if I'm writing in expanded form, I'm going to take 5 as my base, and I'm going to write it 3 times. That's expanded form. And then our final one that we have is standard form. Standard form is the easiest one to remember because standard form is simply writing the answer. So after you have solved or evaluated your exponent, now it's time to write your answer, and that's standard form. The key thing to remember about exponents is that exponents is repeated multiplication. That's our most important thing to pull back from this. So whenever I'm evaluating an exponent, I have to think that I'm going to repeat something, and then I'm going to multiply it by the number of times the exponent tells me to do so. So let's look at an example. There are 2 times 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 2. Whew, that's a lot. Bacteria cells after 3 hours. Write the repeated multiplication as a power and then evaluate. Remember, I said evaluate means to solve. So we're looking for the answer, guys. So let's look at this. First thing we need to remember, the number that you see in the problem written all those times, that's the base. So in this problem, our base is the number 2. Next little nugget. The number of times you see it written is the power. The number of times you see the base written is the power. We see the number 2 written 9 times. So our base is 2, our power is 9. Next nugget. The power, which is 9, tells how many times to multiply the base, which is 2, by itself. So I'm not going to say 2 times 9. I'm going to say 2 times 2, 9 times. Okay? And when I finish that, I should come up with an answer of 512. So the key thing to remember when multiplying when we're doing exponents is that we do not multiply the base times the power. So we do not multiply 2 times 9, but we write 2 down 9 times and multiply 2 times 2 times 2 and so forth and so on. All right, let's keep moving. Here's another example, which is going to be our final example for this tutorial. It says that there are 5 to the 3rd power animals at the zoo. Let me stop there. Notice that in the problem, this particular exponent is written in exponential form. However, when I read the problem, I had to read it in word form. I actually had to say what I saw. So I said that there are 5 to the 3rd power animals at the zoo. The problem here is to write the number of animals at the zoo. So we have to evaluate this exponent. Well, before we can evaluate it, let's look at what we have. We have a base of 5, a power of 3. The 3 tells me how many times to multiply 5 by itself. So I have a base of 5. I have to multiply 5 3 times. So I have 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25, times 5 is 125. So when I evaluate this problem, my answer is 125. I hope this tutorial has been of a help for you, and good luck the rest of your way. Thanks.